Failure teaches us more than success is one of those truths that sounds simple but contains layers of wisdom worth exploring deeply. The paradox of learning through loss. When we win, there's a natural tendency to celebrate and move forward without much introspection. Success feels good, validates our approach, and reinforces our existing beliefs about what works. But this comfort can be deceptive. Victory often masks the variables that contributed to our success. Was it skill, timing, luck, or a combination of factors? Without careful analysis, we might attribute success to the wrong causes and repeat strategies that worked once but may not work again. Failure, on the other hand, demands our attention. It's uncomfortable, sometimes painful, and forces us to confront the gap between our expectations and reality. This discomfort is actually a gift. It creates the psychological conditions necessary for deep learning. When something goes wrong, we're naturally motivated to understand why, to dissect our approach, and to identify what the data-rich nature of failure. This insight about treating failures as data is particularly astute. Every failure is essentially a controlled experiment that didn't produce the desired outcome. But unlike successful experiments, failed ones often provide more specific, actionable information about what doesn't work and why. Consider how Thomas Edison approached his thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure provided specific data points. This material doesn't work as a filament. This design creates too much heat. This approach consumes too much energy. This systematic collection of failure data ultimately led to breakthrough innovation. In the business world, companies like Amazon have built entire cultures around failing fast and learning faster. They deliberately run small experiments, many of which fail, because each failure teaches them something valuable about customer behavior, market dynamics, or operational challenges. These lessons become the foundation for future successes. The emotional intelligence of failure. Beyond the tactical lessons, failure teaches us emotional resilience and self-awareness in ways that success simply cannot. When we fail, we are forced to confront our limitations, our assumptions, and sometimes our ego. This process, while uncomfortable, builds emotional intelligence and mental toughness. Failure teaches us humility, the recognition that we don't have all the answers and that external factors beyond our control can influence outcomes. It teaches us persistence, the ability to continue pursuing goals despite setbacks. Most importantly, it teaches us adaptability, the skill of adjusting our approach based on new information. These emotional lessons are often more valuable than any tactical knowledge because they shape how we approach future challenges. Someone who has learned to process failure constructively becomes more innovative, more resilient, and paradoxically, more likely to succeed in the long run. The challenge of learning from failure. However, taking the time to learn from failure is crucial. Not all failure automatically translates into wisdom. The learning happens in the reflection, analysis, and systematic extraction of insights. This requires several key practices. First, we must resist the natural tendency to rationalize failure, away or blame external factors exclusively. While external factors certainly play a role, the most valuable lessons often come from examining our own decisions, assumptions, and processes. Second, we need to create structured approaches to failure analysis. This might involve asking specific questions. What assumptions did we make that proved incorrect? What signals did we miss or misinterpret? What would we do differently with the same information? What new information do we now have that we didn't have before? Third, we must document these lessons systematically. Human memory is notoriously unreliable, especially when it comes to uncomfortable experiences. Writing down specific lessons, creating failure case studies, or maintaining lessons learned databases ensures that valuable insights don't get lost over time, transforming failure data into future success. The real magic happens when we systematically apply failure lessons to future endeavors. This requires treating each failure as a valuable dataset that informs better decision-making, improved processes, and more realistic planning. Successful entrepreneurs often speak about their failure resume, a catalog of ventures that didn't work out, but provided essential learning. Each failure taught them something about market timing, customer needs, team dynamics, or execution challenges. When they finally achieve success, it's built on a foundation of hard-won wisdom from previous failures. In sports, athletes and coaches routinely study game film, paying particular attention to mistakes and missed opportunities. They understand that analyzing what went wrong provides more actionable insights than celebrating what went right. This systematic approach to learning from failure is what separates good athletes from great ones. The compound effect of failure-based learning. Perhaps most importantly, learning from failure creates a compound effect. Each lesson learned makes us slightly better at recognizing patterns, making decisions, and avoiding similar mistakes. Over time, this accumulated wisdom becomes a significant competitive advantage. People who have learned to extract value from failure develop what psychologists call a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset makes them more likely to take calculated risks, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more innovative in their approaches. In conclusion, failure, when approached with the right mindset and systematic analysis, becomes one of our most valuable teachers. It provides specific, actionable data about what doesn't work, builds emotional resilience, and creates the foundation for future success. The key is developing the discipline and framework to extract these lessons systematically, treating each failure as valuable data for our next endeavor. In doing so, we transform setbacks into stepping stones, creating a continuous cycle of learning and improvement that ultimately leads to greater success than we might have achieved through wins alone. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated for more inspiring content. You can also leave a comment and share the video so that we could reach and inspire more people. Thank you, and to God be all the glory.